What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be going over a few theories I have about Cobalt Blue for The Flash Season 9. So guys, recently we got some set photos that confirm Cobalt Blue's appearance in the season. Obviously, there's a ton of other villains in these set photos. But yeah, Cobalt Blue, played by Rick Cosnett specifically, who played Eddie Thawne in The Flash, Season 1, and then, whenever he returned in seasons after that. So yeah, now, a lot of people actually don't think this is going to be Eddie Thawne. They think it's going to be another character named Malcolm Thawne, and the reason for that is that Malcolm Thawne in the comics is Cobalt Blue. That's Cobalt Blue's real name, and obviously he's still related to the Reverse Flash. So I think that's definitely possible. Now, is it confirmed that it's Malcolm Thawne? Not at all. Not at all. It could still be Eddie Thawne, and I'm just going to be going over a few theories in regard to how it could be Eddie Thawne or how it could actually be Malcolm Thawne. Now guys, if this is going to be Eddie Thawne, I've had the theory for a while that Reverse Flash could actually end up going back in time and saving Eddie Thawne's life. Obviously, there's been tons of different Reverse Flashes since Eddie Thawne killed himself. So I think, just if one of those versions just went back in time and saved Eddie from dying, and then turned him into Cobalt Blue, that would not only save Reverse Flash's life, that would also turn Eddie into a villain. I think that would be a really cool storyline. So that's, a way to get Reverse Flash involved in the final part of the Flash Season 9. I think that would definitely be a pretty cool way to go about things right there. Now guys, with that said, if Reverse Flash were to save Eddie Thawne from killing himself and, Eddie Thawne would be alive just like that, that doesn't really explain why Eddie Thawne would be digging up his own grave in these set photos. That doesn't really make much sense. My theory for this is, it has to deal with the Malcolm Thawne characters, who is obviously the comic book version of Cobalt Blue. Now, this Malcolm Thawne character, first of all, at the set of this scene being filmed, there was a trailer that did say Malcolm on it, so that, Rick could have been playing this Malcolm character in this scene. I think that's definitely possible. Now, why would this Malcolm Thawne character be digging up Eddie Thawne? Now, my theory here is that Malcolm Thawne is Eddie's son, right? I mean, it's also possible that it could be a brother situation, but I think it's definitely the most likely option is that this is going to be Eddie's son. Now, why would he be digging up his dad's grave? Obviously, Eddie Thawne killed himself. He shouldn't have a son, right? That's the thing. I think that the reason he's digging up his own father's grave is because, his timeline isn't super intact because he's not supposed to exist, just like the Reverse Flash, because obviously his dad's dead. So he's probably, what I think is he's digging up his dad's grave, and he's going to use the blue crystal to revive him, so then his timeline can remain intact, and then he can continue to be Cobalt Blue and all that stuff, which is why in the 2049 cliffhanger from The Flash Season 8, that's why it's in the future, because it's Eddie's son instead of like a brother or something along those lines. I think that's why that cliffhanger was set in the future. So I don't know. I think that's my leading theory right now, and I think if that were to happen, I think that would be absolutely insane. So now, if that were to happen, if Malcolm Thawne were to actually be the son of Eddie Thawne, there's just one big flaw with that theory, is that Eddie killed himself, right? So how is Malcolm Thawne even here? So, Eddie didn't have any kids, so how does Malcolm Thawne even exist? Now, my theory with this is the negative Speed Force chose Malcolm Thawne to be the negative Speed Force avatar. Obviously, we know Red Death was not the negative Speed Force avatar, so my theory here is that the negative Speed Force chose Malcolm Thawne to be the next avatar. Now, how could they choose a person that doesn't exist to be the avatar? I think it's possible they can see, all the timelines and choose a timeline where Eddie Thawne didn't kill himself and Malcolm Thawne does exist. They could choose him. I think that's definitely possible. And the negative Speed Force we found out in Season 5 is impervious to timeline changes, right? So as long as someone's in the negative Speed Force, they're not affected by timeline changes. However, obviously we see, Malcolm Thawne not in the negative Speed Force right here. Well, assuming that it's Malcolm Thawne, we see him, not in the negative Speed Force, just walking around. So maybe he has a specific time limit before he becomes erased from existence, sort of like Reverse Flash in Legends of Tomorrow Season 2. I think that's definitely possible right there. So, he has to dig up Eddie Thawne's grave and revive him fast before he's, fully erased from existence. I think that's definitely possible of why he's digging up Eddie's grave. Now, guys, obviously, this is just a theory. I could be totally wrong here. Cobalt Blue could still be Eddie Thawne, but yeah, I thought all of this was just a theory that I would really like to see happen. Now, one more thing is, obviously, if Eddie Thawne were to be revived, that would obviously revive Malcolm Thawne, again, assuming Malcolm Thawne is going to be Eddie's son, which would also revive Reverse Flash. So that's a really interesting storyline right there. What would happen with that? I think that's definitely a way of how Reverse Flash could end up returning. They don't don't have to say that the blue crystal revived him or anything like that. They could just say that he returned because of, changes to the timeline. I think that would be a really cool plan. If they somehow find a way to say that Reverse Flash was behind, the blue crystal, behind the new negative Speed Force avatar, and, behind his own resurrection, that would be probably the greatest master plan in the history of master plans. So I think if they did something like that, that would be awesome. And yeah, that does sound kind of impossible of happening, but if they end up finding a way to make it happen, I think that would be so cool to see. But anyways, I'd say that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment your thoughts on this video down below, as well as your thoughts on all the Cobalt Blue stuff. Do you guys think it's going to be Eddie Thawne? Do you guys think it's going to be, Malcolm Thawne, presumably Eddie's son or, brother, something like that? Just comment all your thoughts and opinions on that down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.